Well, this is my fifth review of the 2016 Honda CRF 1000L, the Africa Twin. I've now done 15,000 kilometers and what's that, about 9,500 miles, and a couple of things have come to mind. Last year on my 2-week Namibia trip, I had a problem with the rear tire. I had three flats in one day, which was certainly not fun. And I vowed then and there to replace the rear hubs, the rear rims with Alpine Tubeless Rims. And I must say, it's been a revelation. It's definitely the right thing to have done. It's pretty expensive, of course, but I replaced them, and just before the start of this trip. Today is day 17. I've done 4,800 kilometers to get here. I'm at the Fish River Lodge in South Namibia, and I've got a couple of things I need to point out to you, I think. So let's start. The rims, as I say, are Alpine. The nice thing about Alpine is you can determine what color hub you want. I went for the red. You can determine what kind of spokes, and the head of the spokes, which they call the nipple, I think. And also the gold anodized rim. She's not clean because she's done 4,800 kilometers to get here, which is what, 3,000, just over 3,000, just under 3,000 miles. And I must say, I'm very impressed. I've had no problems whatsoever so far. I also went for the Tractionator Adventure Tire made by Motoz, or Motoz, and this is what it looks like after the distance I've done so far. And I would think I've done 70% gravel and about 30% tarmac. So definitely a worthy tire. There is one problem, and that is they make a lot of noise. And you certainly are aware of it from 30 miles upwards, 45, 50 kilometers an hour. The front starts to sing a lot. The rear is also a Motoz Tractionator Adventure, and that's what it looks like after 4,800 miles, which is not bad. Again, I've gone for the red hub. I think you get the dust for free. Stainless steel spokes, black spoke caps, and the gold anodized hub. I replaced the standard Honda disc with a aftermarket version made by Motor Master, and I must say it's worked well so far. A little bit noisy with the original pads. I changed the rear pads to SBS's, and that stopped that noise. The other thing I've done this year is Camel Adventure make this bracket, which I have fitted. It strengthens the vibration, or actually it prevents the vibration that you have on the standard fittings for the screen. And it also gives a nice mounting point for a GoPro, specifically this session. The other real interesting thing is there's a 7% overread in the mileage indicator. At 132 kilometers an hour, I'm doing exactly 123. So it's 7% out. Funny enough, the actual odometer is only 300 meters out in 200 kilometers. So there must be some very tricky, very clever electronics that's telling the speedo to overread by 7%, but telling your odometer that you basically are correct. I wonder why they do that. My S10 Yamaha was also overreading by about 6%, but then they all did. I would not expect that in a 2016 generation motorcycle. But anyway, the other thing that I've done is I am still annoyed with the fact that the tank is only 18.8 liters. So I need a 1 gallon bladder to give me the range on that, because I'm always in fuel saving mode, and that's a bit annoying. In actual fact, if anybody makes an aftermarket tank which is 21 to 22 liters, that's absolutely perfect. And please let me know if anybody does, because then there's no reason to trade this in on the Adventure Sport, which is what I wanted to do and would have done. But the Adventure Sport is actually not for sale in South Africa at the moment. There are rumors that there's a warehouse full of them in Durban Harbour, but there's another warehouse next to that one full of 2016 and 17 unsold models. So they won't release the 2018 Adventure Sport right now. And to be honest, all I really need is the bigger tank. It's great that there's improvements to the engine, which is bulletproof as it is, and perhaps a little bit extra suspension and 7 settings on traction control and what have you. But the intention was to get it this year, but unfortunately I couldn't. I will not get the manual, I will get the DCT on the next one, and I'm sure it's going to make quite a difference. It's been an interesting trip. My 17th day, as I've said. My friend on his other Africa twin just made it to about 100 miles from here and had a very sore back, so he couldn't continue this time and had to leave. But I'm impressed with this motorcycle more and more. A couple of things one had to do, I've done, I think. And yeah, it's bulletproof, provided you change the rims and you change the tires and you strengthen the bracket that holds the screen and you put on hand guards that prevent the little white plastic numbers from jumping off. Other than that, you're probably good. And of course you buy a fuel bladder, because funny enough, the 1 gallon that it has is probably what they should have put in this bike to start with. One lives and learns. Yeah, I'm impressed and I like it. And that's it for this year, for 2018, my trip to Namibia. Thanks for watching. Bye.